Friday. Dr. Peter Glidden here. This is Fire Your MD Now. So happy to be with you this afternoon. You know, I was watching a TV program last night with Dustin Hoffman. I think it was called Outbreak, right? It was about an epidemic, a viral epidemic that was spreading throughout the country because they were experimenting on monkeys in a lab with viruses, and one of the tech guys snuck a monkey out of the lab, and everybody in the world's infected, and it was just crazy. Why is it crazy? Because from a scientific perspective, the way that they were showing the spread of the virus was completely without merit. And it was basically just bad science, bad information. And then, you know, they come in with the miracle vaccine cure, right, at the final hour and fixes everybody in 30 seconds. It's ridiculous. We have been fed a pack of lies by the media regarding what really happens in hospitals, what really happens with medical research, how the body really reacts to things like viruses and bacteria, and in fact the stress of life. It's a pack of lies. And if somebody did a TV show, a reality-based TV show, you know, like they do for cops, you know, but it was about MDs instead, right? MDs, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I break into song every Friday. You should know that about me. If they did a radio show, or a TV show, a reality-based TV show about what really happens in hospitals, it would be horrifying. You would never go to a hospital again, because not only are the therapeutics poor, not only do the therapeutics not work, but they're extremely expensive and they're dangerous. Let's take a look at the numbers. Estimated annual mortality and economic costs of medical intervention. Adverse drug reactions, $106,000 a year, cost $12 billion. Medical errors. Right, medical errors, wrong diagnosis, wrong prescriptions. 98,000 deaths a year from medical errors cost $2 billion. Bed sores, you kidding me? The 21st century, 115,000 people die a year from bed sores in the hospital, costs $55 billion. Secondary infections developed while in hospitals, 88,000 a year, $5 billion. Unnecessary procedures, 37,136 to the tune of $122 billion a year. Surgery-related problems, 32,000 a year, $9 billion, all for a total 783,936 deaths, costing us $282 billion, profiting the medical industry $282 billion a year. They are making, delivering piss-poor therapeutics, making money on the back of your suffering. Look, if you're not angry, you're just not paying attention. You are just not paying attention. You have gone down the rabbit hole. You have drunk the Kool-Aid. You are in the matrix. You have no idea that you're there. Use whatever metaphor you want. We have been enculturated over the last 100 years to just believe that our MDs know what's best for us when it comes to health, and they don't. Your MD only knows what your MD has been trained in, and what your MD has been trained in is the exclusive use of drugs. MDs shouldn't be allowed by law to call themselves medical doctors. They should be allowed by law to refer to themselves as drug doctors or pharmaceutical doctors or allopathic doctors, because that's correct. They do not own medicine, but they have enculturated you to believe that they do. So much so that they've convinced you you need to take rat poison in order to thin your blood out. Coumadin, right? It's rat poison. Did you know that? So much so have you genuflected at their altar unquestioningly that they have lost the war on cancer, and you still get out there and do the 20K run, the 5K run for Susan G. Komen. Even though cancer rates have been unchanged in the last 100 years while MDs have been driving the bus. Heart disease is unchanged. After 25 years of statin drugs to 30 years of statin drugs to the tune of $25 billion a year, heart disease is unchanged. We talked about this yesterday. It is crazy what we have put up with. Now, you know, let's take another look at these numbers. Medical error causes 98,000 deaths a year. 98,000 deaths a year costs $2 billion. Can you imagine if a chiropractor or a naturopath or an herbalist killed one person? One person through medical error? Or, there'd be lynchings in the town square. It would be all over CBS Evening News. Oh, those chiropractors. Oh, those naturopaths. Be afraid. Be very, very afraid. Did you know that the American Medical Association was convicted in federal court in the 80s of promoting a 10-year slander campaign against the chiropractors? Look it up. Wilkes versus the AMA. A federal judge found the American Medical Association guilty of a 10-year slander campaign against the chiropractors and ordered the AMA to pay the chiropractors $25 million in damages, which is peanuts to the AMA. They knew they were going to be fined. They knew it was going to come to a court case. They knew they were going to be found guilty. Nobody went to jail. They were going around the country for 10 years saying, don't go to those chiropractors, they'll kill you. They have substandard training and they're quacks. And you bought it hook, line, and sinker. As God is my witness, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this every day until you get it. If you knew what I know about what MDs do, you would run away from them as fast as is humanly possible. The only time you are to see an MD is if you're unconscious and bleeding to death, or if you have a nasty burn or a nasty infection that you can't get over with botanical medicine or nutrition, or, you break your leg skiing. You go to an MD, they're good for that. But for everything else, you have your leg blown off in Iraq, they're good for that. But for everything else, they stink. And MD-directed treatments are currently the leading cause of death in the United States, but we put up with it because we don't know there's a difference. We don't know there's anything different to do. We think that, MDs are driving the bus of medicine because their therapeutics must be better than everybody else's. Their therapeutics must be more science-based, more safer, more effective. Well, no, it's not that way at all. MDs are in the driver's seat of medicine in the United States because of financial and political coalitions that were built at the turn of the century between the pharmaceutical companies, the Carnegies, and the Rockefellers, and the hospitals and medical schools that prescribe drugs. Very famous thing happened in the 1920s called the Flexner Report. The AMA, the Carnegie Corporation, Carnegie Foundation, paid for a man named Abraham Flexner to go all around the country, and he did an inventory of all the medical schools in the United States. This was, before the interstate highway system. It took Flexner 5 years to do it, before the internet, right? Couldn't just sit down and Google it. And before the Flexner's report, there was a relatively level playing field of medicine in the United States. Nobody had the upper hand. There were the chiropractors, the homeopaths, the osteopaths, the MDs, the herbalists. There were over 22 homeopathic medical schools in the United States, and thousands of homeopathic pharmacies before the Flexner Report. Now, Flexner goes around the country and he takes an inventory of all of the medical schools and all of the hospitals prescribing drugs, right? Brings the list back to the Carnegies. It was called the Flexner Report. And the Carnegies, soon followed by the Rockefeller Foundation, gave millions of dollars of free money to the medical schools and hospitals that prescribe drugs because the Carnegies and the Rockefellers owned drug companies. They had stock and interest in pharmaceutical medicine. So this was a turning point for the evolution of medicine in the United States. If you're starting a business and I'm starting a business, you get $1 million of free money and I don't. Who's going to have the better business? You are. And that's exactly why the MDs are in the driver's seat, because of political coalitions, financial coalitions that were built at the turn of the century. And it didn't help that legislators were glad-handed into passing laws that made it illegal to practice medicine if you were not an MD. Didn't help, did it? Well, the chiropractors fought back from this nonsense. The osteopaths fought back from this nonsense. The naturopaths are fighting back from this nonsense, and I'm one of their rank and file. The homeopaths, however, were left in the dust. And within 5 years after the Flexner Report, the last pure homeopathic medical school closed because it couldn't compete. So people coming out of high school, young men and women who felt the calling to be doctors, they look around and there's a brand new multi-million-dollar facility issuing drug and surgical medicine, and then there's a little rinky-dink homeopathic medical school. Well, which one are they going to go to? They're going to follow the money. Where's Nancy Reagan when you need her? Just say no to drugs. But this is how far we've gone. Nobody remembers this. Nobody recognizes it. And you wrongly assume that that man or woman with the white coat and the stethoscope around their neck working in a multi-million-dollar high-tech facility has your best interest at heart, knows what's best for you. They do not. They know drug and surgery medicine, which will save your life under a very small set of circumstances. But they have told you that what they do is everything for everything, and that everybody else is a back-of-the-bus quack, and it is my assertion, based on 23 years of clinical experience, that the only people practicing quack medicine in the United States have MD after their name. There's over 50 lawsuits right now, 50 class action lawsuits for prescription medicines that hurt people, which were approved by the FDA. Isn't that the very definition of quackery? Espousing the use of a medicine for a particular condition that doesn't positively affect that condition and which hurts you, isn't that snake oil? You're darn right it is. And that's what the MDs have been pushing down your throat for the last 100 years. It's time we got a clue. It's time we swallowed the blue pill and snapped out of the matrix. It's time we came out of the rabbit hole. It's time we picked our heads up and looked around, because guess what? There are science-based alternatives. There are science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery to help you recover your health. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a new sheriff in town. His name is Dr. Peter Glidden. This is Fire Your MD. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Glidden here with you, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Thank you so much for tuning in wherever you are. Thank you so much for spending some time with me again on this Friday. Actually, Friday. I love Fridays, ladies and gentlemen, because I am so looking forward to the weekend. I am going to be lecturing in Columbus, Ohio tomorrow, lecturing about medical nutrition to a group of the informed in Columbus, Ohio, because this is what we do. My colleague, Dr. Wallach, and I give hundreds of free lectures every year, and I give webinars, hundreds of free webinars every year on the stuff that we talk about on the radio, because you don't know what you don't know about your health, and the only people you've had access to for your entire life are MDs, and they only know drugs and surgery. So you have to get information from somebody, and you can get it from your health food store owner who's read a book on the wonders of vitamin C, or you can get it from licensed naturopathic physicians with decades of clinical experience and a boatload of research experience. The research that Dr. Wallach has under his belt is legendary. There's nobody that's done as much research as Dr. Wallach. And in the wonderful world of medicine, most people that do research, pragmatic, results-oriented research, don't work with patients. They don't have a patient base. It's one or the other. There's very few physicians have a leg in both worlds, and Dr. Wallach is one of them, which is why his therapeutics are so extraordinarily effective. Now, I want to talk about obesity right now, because obesity is an excellent example of the obtuse failure of conventional medicine. Obesity in adults has increased by 60% in the last 20 years. While we've let the MDs own medicine in the United States, obesity has increased in adults by 60%, and it's tripled in our kids. To such an extent that 33% of American adults are obese. It's tripled in our kids. And obesity-related deaths have climbed to more than 300,000 a year, second only to tobacco-related deaths, which wouldn't be so tragic if it weren't for the remarkable statement that I'm about to say. Obesity is one of the easiest things in the world to fix. It is easier to help somebody gain and maintain a healthy body weight than it is to fall off a potato truck, as God is my witness. MDs have got it completely wrong. What do they want to do? They want to, give you a lap band. They want to cut your stomach out. They want to give you speed. They want to speed up your metabolism. They want to blame your alcoholic parents. They want to blame your weak will. They want to blame your lack of an exercise regime. They want to blame your bad genes. which really just irks me to no end, because instead of turning the mirror on themselves and saying, hey, boys and girls, we're really doing an unbelievably bad job with this one, we should reinvestigate what we do. And no, instead of doing that, which they won't, they blame you. Oh, you're a lazy SOB. Get off your butt and exercise more. Well, guess what? A United Nations study released at an international obesity conference in Amsterdam in May 2009 said this: overeating, not a lack of exercise, is to blame for the American obesity epidemic. Overeating. Same thing happens in animals. It's called pica or cribbing. When an animal overeats, it'll eat stones, it'll eat the dirt, it'll eat poop, it'll eat the wood on its fence. A cow will eat another cow when it happens. Pica or cribbing is an uncontrollable need to eat in animals. Now tell me something. Did the horse or the cow need a lap band? Did they need to get membership at their local gym? Right? Did the horse or the cow that's overeating have an alcoholic parent? Is that why the horse was overeating? It had a psychological trauma? No! The horse or the cow or the human overeats for one reason and one reason only. You are nutritionally starved. There's only one thing that makes people gain weight: too many calories. There was nobody in Auschwitz that was overweight. Nobody in Dachau that was overweight. If you don't eat, you lose weight. If you eat too many calories, you gain weight. It's that simple. And here's the secret to weight loss not even Oprah knows. The only thing that makes people eat too much is lack of nutrients. You are running on nutrient fumes and your central nervous system knows it. So your brain makes you eat in the desperate attempt to fill that nutrient tank, but the food that you're eating doesn't have the nutrients in it. So you go to Olive Garden, eat 3,000 calories, and 2 hours later you're hungry again, and your MD blames your genes. It's nuts. Fire your MD. Nutrify your body with one Healthy Start pack per 100 pounds of body weight and clean your diet up. Go to fireyourmdnow.com, download my Good Food, Bad Food diet, get a Healthy Start pack, and watch the pounds disappear. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. We're taking your calls on the other side of the break. By the way, call us, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. And you are the last best hope that your community, your church, your family has to regain their health. Because when you get on board with us, when you join our cause, we will teach you for free Dr. Wallach's health recovery methods, because we suffer from two myths in this country. Myth number one is that the MD is the undisputed king of medicine. Everybody else is a back-of-the-bus quack. Myth number two, healing is complicated. Healing is easy, folks. It is easy. You don't think so? It's testimony time. They're going to read you an email. It's from Sheila. Here's what she has to say. Thank you so much, Dr. Glidden. I have not convinced my dad to take the full boat nutrient regime yet, but he's taking the Ultimate Daily. He has been taking the Ultimate Daily capsules for 5 to 6 weeks, and his kidney function is up to 30%, which is stage 3, which is increased from 24%, which was stage 4. This guy had kidney failures on dialysis. Before he started one nutritional supplement product, he had stage 4 kidney failure. Now he's up to stage 3. And then she goes on to say, awesome. I love Dr. Wallach, and thank you too. You want to hear a testimonial like that? You want to experience a testimonial like that for yourself? Join us. It's easy. There's 2 ways you can work with us. You can call my phone number. It's toll-free. It's 855-FIRE-MY-MD. That's 855-FIRE-MY-MD. 855-347-3696. You can do that 24/7. Leave me a message. Someone on my staff will get back to you, and we will tell you the health recovery protocol that we recommend for whatever's ailing you. We have health recovery protocols for your heart, health recovery protocols for your lungs, health recovery protocols for your kidneys. You name it, we've got it. It's science-based, it's clinically verified, and it's awesome. Or you can join us. It costs $10 to join us. Join us at the $10 level, and we will show you how to spread our message of health recovery through medical nutrition far and wide, and we will pay you to do it. I'm I'm looking for 118 people who want to make themselves rich helping their friends and family members and neighbors recover their health. I'm looking for 118 people who want to work with me 20 hours a week. 20 hours a week for a $10 investment, $10 one-time investment. If you're interested in increasing your income, if you're interested in helping your community to recover their health, call me, 855-347-3696. That's 855-FIRE-MY-MD, or go to my website, Fire Your MD Now. Fire Your MD Now. Get in touch with me. I'm your man. I'm here to help. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't know what you're missing. Now, if you want to call the show and talk to me today, or Monday through Friday from 4 to 5 Central Time, give the station a call. This call-in number to talk to me live on the air is 866-582-9933. That's 866-582-9933. Again, that's toll-free from anywhere in the United States. 866-582-9933. Now, a little bit more about the obesity dilemma that we were talking about in the last segment. MDs have gotten this completely backwards, and because they've gotten it completely backwards, we're dropping like flies. Or we're dropping like 500-pound bowling balls would be better. I mean, look around. Just, go to Home Depot this weekend and just sit there and watch the suffering mass of lumbering humanity, no pun intended, move through that place. Everybody's overweight. The majority of people in the United States are overweight by at least 50, 60, 70 pounds, and it's a problem. Why is everybody overweight? Because everybody's gone to their MD for treatment, and MDs are completely incapable of helping people to recover a healthy body weight. They can't do it. You wouldn't take your laptop to a plumber to have him fix it. He's the wrong guy for the job. You wouldn't take a Chihuahua hunting for pheasants. He's the wrong dog for the hunt. Why on earth would you take your body to an MD for help with a chronic health condition? Because you don't know any better. That's why. The reason that we're overweight is because we eat too many calories. That's the only reason. The only reason we eat too many calories is because our bodies are starved nutritionally. There are 91 essential nutrients that the human body needs. 91. There's not 90. There's not 92. There's 91. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 3 essential fatty acids. That's 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 3 essential fatty acids for a grand total of 91. The only problem is it is impossible to recover all 91 nutrients from food. You can't do it. It's not just difficult or improbable. It's impossible. And here's why. The lion's share of your nutrient needs are minerals. 60 out of 91, that's almost 2/3. Your body has gigantic need for minerals. But there's only one place that minerals are found. There's only one person that makes minerals, God. Plants cannot make minerals. Animals cannot make minerals. They can't do it. If plants could make minerals, we could bioengineer carrots to make gold, and we'd all be rich. They can't do it. And by the way, if your cow is eating grass that was grown in soil that's calcium poor, there's hardly going to be any calcium in that cow's milk. On an average basis, just an average estimated basis, there's more calcium in maple syrup than there is in cow's milk. I bet you didn't know that. There's only one place we can get minerals, in the soil, but they're not evenly spread out in the soil. There's a little bit here, a little bit there. So a farm in Washington State might have 16 minerals in the soil. A farm in Indiana might have 12 minerals in the soil. A farm in Georgia might have 23 minerals in the soil. Who knew? The farmer only puts 3 NPK. The farmer isn't paid to mineralize the soil. The farmer is paid per bushel ton. So guess what? Because the minerals are not evenly spread out in the soil, everybody is minerally deficient. And by everybody, I mean everybody. There are things that we need to do to survive on planet Earth. We need to build houses. Even the Native Americans needed to live in shelters, teepees and wigwams, right? Igloos, depending on, where you are. We need to build houses and protect ourselves from the elements. We need to heat them and cool them. We need to find and purify water, right? We need to do that. And we need to develop waste disposal systems to move our waste away from us and, get rid of it in a way that's safe, so we don't all get cholera and, die in our 30s like they used to in the 1700s. These are the things we need to do just to survive on planet Earth. Well, there's one more thing that we need to do, and your MD is not telling you this, which is why it should be illegal for MDs to say that they practice health care, because they do not. They practice disease management. Now, disease management is very different than health care. And disease management is appropriate for certain things. For some things, you need to have the disease managed. They don't practice health care. Naturopathic physicians, chiropractors, holistic physicians practice health care because we can actually help you to recover your health. Well, what do you have to do? You have to scour the planet. Oh, there's one thing that you can do. You can scour the planet. You can find all 91 essential nutrients. You can gather them together. You can purify them. And then you can put them yourself into bioavailable recipes in the right proportions and then swallow them every day. You can do that. Or you can just take the longevity family of nutritional support formulas, because we've done it all for you. That's right, we've done it. Unless you take a well-balanced, full-fledged nutritional supplement into your body, it is only a matter of time until something breaks. You run out of something and something breaks. And in the case of obesity, the only reason that you're craving calories is because you're running on nutrient fumes. Your body is smart. This is one of the biggest differences between the drug doctor approach towards health and the holistic doctor approach towards health. Drug doctors do not believe that the body can fix itself. Drug doctors do not believe in the existence of the human spirit or the soul as it pertains to the health of the body. Which is ironic, because many drug doctors are deeply religious people, but they have no working concept in their medical practice about the relationship between the soul to the health of the body. And because they have no working relationship of that concept, of that connection, they have thrown the baby out with the bathwater. It might startle you to realize that your MD, because they practice reductionistic medicine, and because nobody has ever dissected the soul out of a corpse, nobody has ever identified the soul with an MRI or a CT, therefore, to the MD, the existence of the soul and the human spirit is nonsense. It's a non-starter. It doesn't happen. They have completely missed it. Because from the holistic point of view, it is the soul that controls what goes on in the body. It's the soul that taught your body how to grow itself all by itself from a single-celled organism. It's the soul force which animates your body and regulates all of the trillions of metabolic reactions every day. You think it's just biochemistry that does that? It's not. If it was biochemistry, why do people die? You could shoot somebody with a bullet and the chemicals in their body 1 second after they're dead are exactly the same as they were 1 second before they were dead. Why are they dead? Because Elvis has left the building. Your soul has left the house. And so the body starts to decay. When the soul force isn't present to keep the body alive, the body decays. Period. But your MD doesn't recognize this, so your MD is completely blind to the startling, easy, juvenile position that every holistic doctor is taught on day one, that the human body can fix itself. Your MD doesn't believe this. Your MD is like a communist. He believes that they have to march in and regulate the body with synthetic drugs to control the situation because your body is not smart enough to take care of itself. What do communists believe? You have to march in and control the population. The government controls everything because the people in that country aren't smart enough to take care of themselves. MD drug medicine is communistic. Period. It is. because it argues that the body must be controlled and regulated with synthetic drugs. Holistic doctors know that the body can fix itself. We know that the body is built in, is endowed with a God-given ability to fix itself. And the only thing that's necessary to help your body do that most of the time is to provide the body with the nutrients that it needs to do that. You need 91 nutrients every day. If you don't get them, it's only a matter of time until something breaks, or you start craving food uncontrollably, which is a reflection of something being broken. Recover your health, ladies and gentlemen. Take the blue pill, pop out of the matrix, get in touch with us, and learn how you can recover your health. We're here to help. Call me at 855-347-3696, 24 hours a day. Call the station right now at 866-582-9933. This is Fire Your MD Now. I am passionate about what I do, though. Very passionate. If you'd sat behind my desk for 20 years and witnessed the suffering engendered, the needless suffering engendered by MDs in this great country of ours, you'd be crying. You would be on your knees, crying. Because most of the pain and suffering that we go through courageously, right? Like soldiers. You know, we cut our hair in support of our brother who's had chemotherapy. You know, we soldier on. We get up and go to work even though our joints are killing us. You know, we take the little purple pill. We do what needs to be done because that's what we do in the United States of America. And most of our suffering is needless. There are 278 illnesses caused by not enough calcium, but your MD doesn't know this. Ringing in the ears is a calcium deficiency. Vertigo is a calcium deficiency. Chronic laryngitis can be a calcium deficiency. Chronic low back pain, a calcium deficiency. Really bad menstrual cramps, that's a calcium deficiency. Inability to fall asleep, it's a calcium deficiency. Restless legs at night in bed, hey, guess what? It's a calcium deficiency. High blood pressure, most of the time, a calcium deficiency. How about that? And the list goes on and on and on and on. But your medical doctor, your drug doctor, doesn't know this. So he throws a drug at it, right? It's crazy what we've come to. It's crazy what we've put up with here in the United States. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Where did I read that? So look, it's time to pick yourself up by the bootstraps, folks. I am here to sell you vitamins. You're darn right I'm here to sell you vitamins. And if you think I'm just another vitamin salesman, I'll meet you in the back alley after the show and we'll have it out the old-fashioned way. I'm not. You need them. Look, if we were sailors in the British Army in the 1800s and we were out to sea for 5 months and we didn't have any vitamin C, we'd get scurvy. Scurvy is a vitamin C deficiency, and it is a nasty, horrible death. If I knew that you had scurvy, and I knew that scurvy was caused by not enough vitamin C, it would be my responsibility to hook you up with vitamin C. Well, guess what? The majority of chronic diseases, all of the stuff you're suffering from, are nutrient deficiency driven. It is my responsibility to hook you up with vitamins. It's my job. You got to trust me here, folks. Again, you don't know what you're missing. Now, last year we spent $70 billion on vitamins in the United States. $70 billion, and everybody's still sick. Why is this? Because vitamins are like chicken soup. The recipe is everything. If you don't have the right recipe, it's not going to work. If you're not taking enough, it's not going to work. If you had a sinus infection and went to your drug doctor and he gave you an antibiotic and told you to take 30 milligrams 3 times a day for a week, if you took 10 milligrams once a day for 3 days, it wouldn't work. Does that mean antibiotics don't work? No. Just means you didn't take enough. Well, guess what? It's exactly the same with vitamins. The recipe is everything. The quality control of the company that makes the vitamins is key. How bioavailable the nutrients are. What form are they in? What molecular form are they in? There are all these variables that you have no idea about, but we do, because this is what we do for a living. Vitamins are like, wine. They're all made from grapes, but there's a great deal of difference between Annie Boonspring's green apple wine and a nice French Cabernet. So it is with vitamins. I've been doing this for 23 years clinically, and Dr. Wallach's formulas, Dr. Wallach's nutritional supplements eclipse any other product I've ever seen. And the only reason that we survive in a hostile environment like this is because this stuff works.